we have our serial and brand flow. Now we need to update them. So I will pass the serial as parameter here, and we will need to update the serial using data store manager. We're gonna pass the serial, and since update serial is a suspend function, so it must be called in a quarantine. We'll use our view model scope launch, and I will choose the specific dispatchers of input output, and I will do the same for our update brand, and I will add the brand as parameter. And now we need to update our brand with our new brand. So now we have our update serial, we will update our serial flow because it's dependent on data store manager, and the brand flow will be updated when we update our brand here, because it is also dependent on data store manager. And I want for when either the serial or the brand changes, we need to change our home UI state. So how can we do this? We can say on each here and here, which will result in the change on UI. But since they are common, we can actually have a third flow, and it's gonna be serial with brand flow, and we're gonna combine the serial flow with the brand flow, and when we combine them together, we will have our serial and we will have our brand, which are both of type string, and I will make a new list of serial and brand, and I want on the beginning of this combination, which happens before collection, before this flow start to be collected, I want to change the UI state from being loading to be not loading. So I'm just gonna copy, and I will choose is loading to be false. Alright, and now for the default on each, when it has a new value, whether it was serial update or brand update, or maybe both, but we don't have the option to have both here. So when we have here, I'm just gonna change the UI state to be a copy of the current UI state. The is loading is the same, the serial is gonna be the serial, and I'm just gonna make it serial with brand list, and for the serial I'm just gonna use serial with brand list of type serial index, which is gonna be 0, and we also gonna make for the brand, it will be a brand index. So I will make this new index is gonna be 0, and for the brand serial it's gonna be 1. And now we just gonna pass the serial, and we're gonna pass the brand, and we also need to update the manufacturer entity, which we will be showing. So we will need to get manufacturer entity, let's say entity by serial or brand. That's a really long name, but that's how it's gonna happen. Right, and now we're gonna just pass the serial and the brand. So let's make our function. I'm just gonna use this and create a function for myself. Yep. And now we need to add the implementation. So we will need to use our factory to get our decoding, which happens with our decoder here, which will be Samsung decoder. Alright, so for now I'm just gonna return manufacturer entity, simple case, and now we're getting close to finishing this view model class.